In the tranquil Tokyo district of Kamiso-Shigeya, as the final hours of December 30, 2000, slipped away, an unimaginable darkness descended. This wasn't just another night, it was the genesis of what would become Japan's most sprawling, most perplexing criminal investigation. The Miyazawa family, Mikio, a father at 44, Yasuko, the mother, 41, their bright daughter Nina, just 8, and little Rei, their 6-year-old son, were among the last few families clinging to their homes in a neighborhood rapidly transforming around them. They chose to stay, a decision born of profound parental love and concern for their children's well-being. This choice, made with the purest intentions, would tragically, agonizingly, lead to their final days. The case that would soon be known as the Setagaya family murders would forever symbolize the stark dichotomy of modern forensic science. Its immense capabilities, yet also its agonizing limitations. Despite a crime scene that was an unprecedented treasure trove of evidence, including the killer's full DNA profile, clear fingerprints, discarded clothing, and even bodily waste, the perpetrator has, for over 2 decades, managed to slip through the grasp of justice. Even more disturbing was the killer's brazen, almost mocking behavior, remaining in the house for hours after the unspeakable acts, calmly helping themselves to the family's food and belongings. This chilling casualness added a grotesque psychological dimension to an already horrific crime, deepening its mystery. The Miyazawa family truly embodied the essence of a close-knit Japanese household, their lives intricately woven into the fabric of their community and extended family. Their residence in Setagaya Ward wasn't a singular structure, it was actually 2 attached houses. One side was home to the Miyazawas, while the other was occupied by members of Yasuko's family, including her own mother. This unique arrangement perfectly reflected the traditional Japanese value of maintaining incredibly close family ties, even while allowing individual family units their own space and identity. Mikio was widely respected, known as a diligent professional in his field. Colleagues remembered him as a congenial man who got on well with everyone, a testament to his warm and amicable nature. Yasuko, on her part, had meticulously built a reputation as a dedicated educator. She ran a highly successful cram school directly from their home, her commitment extending far beyond her own children to the many local students who blossomed under her patient tutoring. Their children, Nina and Rei, were active, vibrant members of their schools and the wider community. Little Rei, in particular, received special attention and loving care due to his developmental disorder, a testament to his family's unwavering devotion. By December of 2000, their familiar neighborhood had undergone profound and rapid changes. Tokyo's relentless expansion had pushed many families to sell their properties and relocate to newer areas. The Miyazawas had themselves already agreed to sell their land to the city, which had ambitious plans to expand the nearby Sashigaya Park. However, Yasuko, always, unfailingly, mindful of her children's unique needs, chose to postpone their family's move. Her decision was primarily influenced by deep concerns about how such a significant transition might affect Rei's delicate development and his crucial educational progress. She prioritized his stability above all else. Their home stood as one of just 4 remaining occupied houses in the entire area, an island of life surrounded by the growing emptiness of a neighborhood in unsettling transition. Despite this dramatically changing landscape, the Miyazawa family maintained their daily routines with remarkable, almost defiant, normalcy. Yasuko continued to teach at her bustling cram school, the children attended their regular activities, and the family remained deeply active and engaged within their community. To their neighbors and acquaintances, the Miyazawas were a beacon of stability in an ever-shifting world. They had no known enemies, no apparent conflicts, and absolutely no involvement in any activities that could remotely suggest they might become targets for violence. Their daily lives were marked by the simple, ordinary moments that form the comforting rhythm of most families' existence. Shared meals, focused homework sessions, relaxing television shows, and the excited planning for future celebrations. This utterly ordinary, peaceful existence would make the extraordinary and brutal violence that befell them all the more shocking, sending waves of horror through their close-knit community and across the entire nation. The events of December 30, 2000, began innocuously enough. Just like countless other Japanese families preparing for the sacred New Year celebrations, the Miyazawas spent their morning on a typical shopping trip near Chitose Karasuyama Station. Security camera footage, now chillingly poignant, captured these final, peaceful moments of the family going about their ordinary routines, utterly unaware of the unspeakable horror that patiently awaited them. After returning home, the family settled in for what should have been a quiet, restful evening. They shared dinner together, watched television, and eventually retired to their respective sleeping areas. Mikio, however, remained awake, immersed in work on his computer on the first floor, a fateful decision that would place him directly in the path of an unknown intruder, an intruder who would forever alter the fate of this peaceful, unsuspecting family. According to the meticulous police reconstruction of events, sometime after 11 p.m., an unknown assailant silently approached the Miyazawa home through the quiet expanse of Sashigaya Park. The perpetrator's chosen path to entry displayed both chilling preparation and remarkable physical capability. They utilized a fence in the backyard and, possibly, a tree with broken branches to skillfully climb to the second-floor bathroom window. The chilling precision of this entry point strongly suggested someone who had either meticulously studied the house's layout or was intimately familiar with the property's specific vulnerabilities. After deftly removing the window screen, the killer entered the house. Their first destination inside the home immediately revealed the truly sinister and chilling nature of their intentions. Rather than seeking valuables or money, their gaze, their focus, was directly drawn to the nearest bedroom, which belonged to 6-year-old Ray. In what would become one of the most heartbreaking and gut-wrenching aspects of this entire case, the young boy was strangled in his sleep, his innocent life brutally extinguished before he ever had the chance to cry out or alert his unsuspecting family to the immense danger lurking within their own home. The sequence of events that followed painted a horrifying picture of calculated, relentless brutality. The killer, now armed with a sashimi knife, a type commonly used for preparing raw fish, encountered Mikio on the first floor. What ensued was a violent, desperate struggle that ended with multiple savage stab wounds. Mikio's body lay tragically at the base of the stairs, a fragment of the murder weapon, a piece of the sashimi knife, still horrifically embedded in his skull. One of his slippers, tragically, was found on the staircase, a silent, poignant detail suggesting his desperate, agonizing attempt to reach his family upstairs to protect them from the unseen horror. The killer then, with chilling focus, turned their attention to the attic, where Yasuko and 8-year-old Nina were sleeping. The forensic evidence at the scene suggested an especially violent, terrifying confrontation, with both victims showing signs of tremendous, agonizing struggle. During this brutal attack, the killer's sashimi knife, already fractured, finally broke completely, prompting them to retrieve a different weapon, a Western-style knife, from the family's kitchen to continue their relentless, brutal assault. The bodies of mother and daughter were later discovered together at the top of the stairs, huddled in what appeared to be Yasuko's final, desperate attempt to shield and protect her beloved child. Forensic evidence would later reveal a truly heartbreaking detail: young Nina was the last to die. And her injuries told a story of unimaginable, prolonged cruelty. Beyond the fatal stab wounds, she had been beaten severely, with several teeth missing, a grotesque detail suggesting that the perpetrator had continued to assault her even after death. The horrifying level of violence exhibited, particularly toward the female victims, would later become a crucial, disturbing element in developing theories about the killer's motivations and their chilling psychological profile. The sheer brutality of the murders shocked even the most veteran investigators. But it was what happened next that would truly set this case apart, catapulting it into the annals of Japan's most bizarre and perplexing criminal investigations. Rather than fleeing the scene immediately, escaping into the night, the killer would spend hours in the house, engaging in behavior that seemed to mock both the victims and the very notion of human decency. The official investigation of the Setagaya family murders began on the morning of December 31, 2000, when Yasuko's mother, Haruo Jako, made the devastating, unthinkable discovery. After repeated, unanswered phone calls, a growing sense of dread gripping her heart, she entered the family's home around 10:30 a.m., only to find Mikio's body at the base of the stairs. The scene that greeted first responders would prove to be one of the most evidence-rich crime scenes in all of Japanese criminal history. What immediately, chillingly, set this case apart was the killer's extraordinary, almost surreal behavior after the murders. In what would later be dubbed the Goldilocks murder by the media, the perpetrator spent at least 2 hours in the house, a house where 4 lives had just been violently taken. Their actions during this prolonged period painted a disturbing picture of casual, chilling indifference that would both fascinate and utterly horrify investigators. The killer wandered through the house, past the silent, lifeless bodies of their victims, and, with astonishing audacity, helped themselves to ice cream from the family's refrigerator. Rather than using a spoon, they squeezed the ice cream containers to push the contents to the top, taking bites directly from the tubs. They also consumed barley tea and, according to some sources, helped themselves to melon from the family's kitchen. In the bathroom, they treated a cut, sustained during the attacks, using the family's first aid kit, leaving behind bloodied bandages that would yield crucial DNA evidence. They used the toilet without bothering to flush, leaving behind damning feces. They then wiped their hands on the bathroom towel, leaving additional blood evidence. The killer even accessed Mikio's computer at 1:18 a.m., creating a new folder and allegedly visiting the website of a local theater company. The evidence left at the crime scene was nothing short of overwhelming. A former high-ranking police officer would later speak about it with both amazement and frustration. He said, "The crime scene was a mountain of treasure, and everyone thought a solution would not be far away." And he had every reason to believe that. The killer had left behind a complete DNA profile, collected from not just one, but several sources. There was blood, likely from an injury. Saliva was found on ice cream containers. Even feces were left in the toilet, unflushed, offering another DNA sample. But that wasn't all. The house was covered in fingerprints, scattered across multiple surfaces. It was as if the killer made no effort to hide or clean up. Even more shocking, a full set of clothing was left behind, clothes that seemed to belong to the killer. Investigators found a gray Crusher-style bucket hat, a baseball shirt with purple sleeves, and a plaid scarf with no tags. There was also a Uniqlo Air Tech jacket, a pair of black gloves, a gray and black fanny pack, and Slazenger sneakers, size 27.5 centimeters. The investigation quickly revealed several crucial details that would both expand and complicate the desperate search for the killer. The Slazenger sneakers, for instance, were never sold in Japan but were exclusively available in South Korea. This vital lead led investigators to collaborate closely with Korean authorities, but when they ran the killer's fingerprints against Korea's national database, which meticulously includes all citizens over 17 and visitors, they found no matches. Perhaps the most utterly puzzling piece of evidence came from the killer's fanny pack, which contained minute traces of sand. When meticulously analyzed, this sand was definitively determined to originate from near Edwards Air Force Base in California, adding an entirely unforeseen international dimension to the investigation. This discovery would spawn numerous, complex theories about the killer's identity and their mysterious background. Further DNA analysis deepened the enigma, revealing that the perpetrator had mixed ancestry, with a mother likely from Southern Europe and a father of East Asian descent. The paternal DNA markers appeared in varying frequencies among different East Asian populations. Remarkably, 1 in 13 Japanese people, 1 in 10 Chinese people, and a more frequent 1 in 4 Korean people. The investigation would grow, in sheer scale and resources, to become the largest in Japanese history, involving an astonishing 250,000 investigators and generating more than 15,000 tips from a vigilant public. The police, demonstrating their absolute commitment, offered an unprecedented reward of 20 million yen, approximately $190,000 at the time, the largest ever offered by Japanese law enforcement, for any information leading directly to the killer's arrest. Despite this overwhelming mountain of physical evidence and the extensive, tireless resources devoted to the case, each new lead, each new discovery, seemed only to create more questions than answers. The investigation would continue to expand, reaching across borders, drawing in international law enforcement agencies, and spawning numerous tantalizing theories about the killer's identity and their elusive motives. The legal landscape surrounding the Setagaya family murders underwent significant and profound changes in the decades following the crime. Perhaps the most notable development came in 2010, a decade after the murders, when Japan made a landmark decision. It abolished the statute of limitations for murder and other crimes resulting in death. This pivotal legislative change, driven in part by immense public advocacy surrounding this very case, meant that whenever the perpetrator is finally found, they will unequivocally face justice, regardless of how much time has agonizingly passed. The Miyazawa family's tragedy would never be forgotten, never be time-barred. The investigation, despite its frustrations, generated several compelling theories about the killer's identity, each supported by different pieces of that vast physical evidence. One prominent theory, based on the unique sand found in the killer's fanny pack and their mixed ancestry, hauntingly suggested a possible military connection. The sand's origin near Edwards Air Force Base in California, combined with the killer's presumed familiarity with both Western and Japanese cultures, led some investigators to speculate about a chilling connection to military personnel stationed in Japan. Another intriguing, albeit controversial, theory, proposed by journalist Fumiya Ichihashi, suggested the involvement of a South Korean military-trained hitman, potentially hired by property developers eager to accelerate the neighborhood's redevelopment. While this theory did address some pieces of evidence, such as the Korean market sneakers, it conspicuously failed to explain the killer's bizarre, prolonged stay at the crime scene and the deeply personal, brutal nature of the violence inflicted. The Setagaya family murders profoundly impacted Japanese society and irrevocably altered law enforcement practices. The Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department maintains an unprecedented 24/7 guard at the crime scene, a commitment that has continued, unbroken, for over 2 decades. The path leading directly to the house remains blocked off, serving as a constant, stark reminder of the unsolved tragedy, a testament to a nation's unresolved grief. The case has left an indelible, painful mark on the community and, most agonizingly, on the victim's surviving family members. Perhaps no one embodies the enduring impact of this tragedy more vividly than 92-year-old Setsuko, the heartbroken grandmother of the Miyazawa family. To this very day, she can often be found at the entrance of Chitose Karasuyama Station, distributing flyers, her frail hands offering glimpses into her unspeakable loss, her eyes holding the flickering hope that someone, anyone, might finally come forward with information about her beloved family's killer. The investigation's lasting impact on Japanese law enforcement has been equally significant. The case led directly to vital improvements in DNA analysis capabilities, crucial changes in evidence collection procedures, and significantly enhanced international collaboration in complex criminal investigations. The unprecedented reward of 20 million yen remains actively offered, reflecting law enforcement's unyielding, ongoing commitment to finally solving this agonizing case. The murders also sparked important, overdue discussions about public safety and security in Japan. The killer's ability to enter the home so easily through a second-floor window led countless families to reassess and upgrade their own home security measures. The case profoundly challenged Japan's cherished reputation as one of the world's safest countries, prompting a critical re-evaluation of community policing strategies and residential security standards across the nation. Media coverage of the case has continued relentlessly over the years, with numerous documentaries, books, and articles meticulously exploring various aspects of the intricate investigation. Each passing anniversary brings renewed, somber attention to the case, along with fresh, heartfelt appeals for information from the public, a continuous plea into the void. The story of the Setagaya family murders has become a cornerstone of true crime literature in Japan, serving as a sobering, painful reminder that even the most evidence-rich cases can, tragically, remain unsolved. But the hope, however faint, for justice for the Miyazawa family endures.